Okay, ladies, listen up. I am going to give you a no bullshit way on how to grow your glutes. Everybody wants this big bubble butt these days. I am not wearing those TikTok shape-shifting bubble butt making leggings. Here I am just wearing a very standard pair of black leggings. No tricks or mimics or gimmicks going on here. You are going to need a booty band. This is very thick, very hard, high resistance band. We're going to talk about the common misconceptions and mistakes made in some of these exercises and some little tips and tricks to help you. Insert picture. You can see I've been through every single stage of this journey, from overweight, no butt, big butt, bodybuilding butt, wellness girl, IFBB competitor, to here I am today as a strength athlete. So listen up and like, subscribe, and drop comments and questions below. Right, let's get started on growing that bubble butt. Okay guys, if you're following me and you think I couldn't give a hoot about that big bubble butt that she's talking about, I still want you to prioritize some glute exercises into your weekly routine. Weak glutes are the #1 reason for back pain. Your glutes are the center of your anatomy and they directly connect into your lower back. If you have weak glutes, guarantee you get back pain, tight hips, and tight quads. We need to work on these glutes to eliminate the desk job posture and bad backs. Okay, so we are gonna start with insert picture of anatomy. Glutes, here they are. How to grow your glutes. First of all, we're actually going to stretch our quads and open our hips. Because if your quads are tight and your hips are not mobile, you're not going to be able to engage your glutes and grow that big bubble butt. So exercise #1 is stretch the quads, open the hips. Okay, exercise #1 is stretching out your quads. I hear it all the time. Yeah, but I'm quad dominant and I can't engage my glutes. Trust me, ladies, I'm quad dominant as well. Quad queen, quadzilla coming at you. So we need to stretch the quads and loosen them out to enable the glutes to be activated. So elevate your back leg, knee on the floor, front leg is supporting you. If your quads are too tight to enable you to do this, come forward slightly or make the elevation a little bit lower. You will feel this. What we are aiming for is 180 degrees from knee all the way up to your shoulder with no acute angle coming from your hips here. If you can't straighten this angle here, you've got a problem in your hips and your quads, trust me. Hold and open, sit up nice and straight, and I'm just pulsing to open up my quads. Obviously do both sides. Okay, common misconception of quad stretching is we have this stretch here, quad stretch. If your knees are wide, if you're jumping around all over the place and unable to balance, you're not stretching any quad here. Get your knees together. Pull your ankle into your glute. Squeeze your bum cheeks together. Squeeze. Push your hips forwards. And now you'll be able to feel the stretch in your quads. Hold, stretch, squeeze your glutes. You can't squeeze your glutes if your quads are not allowing you to do so. Okay, second exercise. This is still part of the warm-up and we're opening up the hips. Take the feet wide. Drop down, you go into a squat. As you're dropping down, get your elbows into your knees and just move from side to side. You can see I'm transferring the weight from one foot to another foot and I'm opening up my hips. If you're super tight in your adductors and your hip flexors, again, when you contract your glutes, you're wanting to open up the pelvis and open up the hips. But if all of these muscles are tight and pulling you in, you're not going to be able to engage your glutes. And that's where people say, I'm quad dominant, because you're not stretching your quads and opening your hips. Okay, exercise #2 to open up your hips. Take a kettlebell or a dumbbell, as light as you like to start with. You're going to drop down into your squat, holding the kettlebell, keeping your chest up nice and high, and just sit and hold. If you feel a pinch in your hips because your hip flexors are super, super, super tight, take it up an inch from where you feel the pinch and hold. Count to 10. 3, 2, 1. Take it back down until you feel the pinch. And come back up an inch. Count to 10. And drop back down until you feel the pinch. And you should be able to sit so much deeper into your squat. If you're not ready to do that with a kettlebell, do it without a kettlebell. You might be so tight that drop down into your squat. When you feel a pinch in your hips, come up an inch. Count to 10. When you get to 10, drop it back down, and your pinch should have dropped in mobility. Come up an inch. Count to 10. Third round, drop it down until you feel the pinch, which should have increased in mobility. Up an inch, hold, count to 10, and release. Opening up the hips is crucial before working on the glutes. Okay, exercise number 3 in our warm-up, and then we're gonna get on with some strength work. So, elevate your front foot and drive your hips forwards. As you're driving your hips forwards, you should feel your quad and your hip flexor opening up here. Push the hips forwards. Pulse it forwards. And change. Elevate the front foot, drive the hips forwards. We're not pushing forwards like this with our bum sticking out, because that's doing nothing to our hip flexors. We're trying to open up this angle here by pushing it forwards. Here. Okay, so as we're pushing our hip forwards, it really doesn't matter about where your knee and your foot is placed here. We are working on our hip joint. You should be feeling it in your hip, and if you're not, it's because you're not pushing forwards. If you're pushing like this, you'll be feeling it in your quad and your knee. We're not loading the front here, we're loading the hips here. Okay, ladies and gents, to be honest, if you are trying to grow your glutes, you need to purchase one of these. This is a very resistant booty band. You can find them online everywhere, cheap as chips. So put your booty band on over the top of your knees. We are still really warming up for our glute session. What we're trying to do is activate our glutes. You hear this all the time, glute activation exercise. Neurologically, you have neuro pathways from your brain down your nervous system into your muscle. If you're not thinking with purpose about the exercise that you're doing, training with purpose and consciously being in the moment and thinking about what you're trying to do, it's not just gonna happen on its own. You've got to think about squeezing your bum. So, booty band on over the knees, bend down. You want your toes slightly out, as I've said before, in my how to deadlift video. When your feet are out, it helps push your knees out, which helps engage your glutes. So knees out, feet out, drop your glutes down. I can already feel my glutes burning. From here, we're gonna do a monster walk. So we're gonna walk to the side, keeping resistance in the band, staying down nice and low. My glutes are burning already. Here we go. We're gonna go 10 one way and 10 back the other way. Be careful not to make this mistake of when you're stepping, letting your knees drop. My glutes are doing nothing, absolutely nothing. There's like no resistance in the band. Booty band on over the top of the knees, toes slightly out, knees out pushing against the band. Drop down, monster walk to the side, keeping the knees pushing out. And you will start to feel your glutes burning. It's hard. 10 one way, 10 the other way. And repeat, straight back, don't rest. You want to grow your glutes because you don't like the way they are. So you're seeking change within your body. If you want to change something within your body, you're going to have to go through a process that's quite uncomfortable. Get over it. I mean, I'm absolutely burning. Okay, ladies, how to grow your glutes. Exercise number 2 with your booty band, resistance band. Before I go into this, please, if you're trying to grow muscle tissue, you must make sure you're eating enough food. See my channel, subscribe to my channel for some more videos on nutrition and how to grow muscle. Anyway, band on over your knees. We're going to go into a clam. So, you can see I'm up against a wall here. I'm going to put my feet up against the wall, stacked one on top of the other, not slipping off the side here. Putting my bum also up against the wall and my back up against the wall. I'll explain the reason for the wall in a second. From here, we're going to lift the top leg up, and this is activating my glutes already. When I come down, I don't really want to lose resistance in the band, so that's enough. Any more and I'm going to lose the resistance. So I'm going to do 15 reps each side. Don't lose resistance. 2, 3, control. 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way to 15, and swap sides. 13, 14, 15. Just going to explain why we're using the wall for this clam resistance band exercise with how to grow your glutes. So if I moved away from the wall and I try to do the same exercise, this is a common mistake I see all the time. So in order to stop this, rolling out with your shoulders, rolling out with your hips, allowing too much momentum and not enough isolated control, you can prevent all of that by backing yourself up against the wall. You can't do it even if you tried. Okay? 15 reps each side, 3 sets. Okay guys, setting up for exercise number 1, sumo squats on an elevated platform. Elevated means create yourself some height. I'm using these blocks. I understand not every gym has these blocks. You could use, come with me. You could take a stack of weights and put them on the floor, one under this foot and one under this foot. It's the same as the blocks I'm using. Alternatively, come on over. You could use 2 benches. We are going to sumo squat with a weight in the hand, and we want there to be room for the weight to go down with enough stretch of the glutes. Okay? Hey guys, we're moving away from the warm-up and into exercise number 1 that's loaded through weight. We are talking about how to grow your glutes, creating that nice big bubble butt. Okay? So in order to grow your glutes, this is called hypertrophy. Hypertrophy is when we're talking about muscle mass growth, growing muscle tissue. It's very different to strength training. I have done both. I'm an international strongwoman athlete, used to be an IFBB bodybuilder and a WBFF pro wellness bodybuilder, if you know those federations. So we're gonna load this. When we're doing strength training, we work on a smaller rep range. When we're doing hypertrophy for muscle growth, we're gonna work on a much larger volume of reps. So the first exercise is a sumo squat. We're gonna do our sumo squat with a kettlebell. We're not loading this up to like max weight. I don't care if you can squat 150 kilos. I mean, it's bloody great, but that's not the point of growing your glutes. So, feet turned out, knees out, pelvis tucked in. I'm gonna go side on and show you that again. Your feet are out, your knees are out. You're going to squeeze your bum and scoop your pelvis under. I'm gonna do it again, you might wanna zoom in. So, feet turned out, knees pushing out. My glutes are already engaged because my knees are pushing out, and scoop the pelvis under. I don't wanna see this bum sticking out and this, I can feel that pushing my lower back already. It's very uncomfortable. I don't wanna see this through your lower back. So many people say the minute they pick up a weight, they get back pain. So contract your core, squeeze your glutes and your pelvis in tight, and do the exercise with more control. So, feet wide, you're on an elevated platform. I am lifting my top up so that you can see the core contraction and the glute tilt. My weight is here on the floor. I'm gonna be keeping my chest up nice and high. I'm gonna be pushing my bum backwards. Even when I'm pushing my bum backwards, really still trying to squeeze my glutes. Thinking with purpose. At the bottom of the lift, I'm not gonna push through my quads. Obviously they're gonna be working, but I want to be telling my bum to do the work. Squeezing my bum together is damn near impossible when you're this far down and your bum cheeks are so spread open to squeeze your glutes together. But you're gonna try anyway. Here, head up, chest up. Squeeze your glutes together the whole way up. Down you go. Spread your bum open and squeeze your bum together. Down you go. Spread down as far as you can. Squeeze your glutes together on the way up. Down you go. Squeeze your glutes together. From the bottom, you want to be making sure those knees stay out. Squeeze the bum cheeks together. I'm not pulling back like this. Squeezing my glutes. squeezing my glutes. Every single rep, I'm thinking about what I'm trying to achieve. Not about what I'm doing later, not about what's for dinner, not about that email I received this morning. I'm just thinking about squeezing my bum and spreading my bum. Squeeze and spread, and squeeze and spread. Let's go, 3 sets, 12 reps. Okay, as I said, not every gym has those blocks that I was using. So let's just stand you up on 2 benches. You're much, much higher, so you're gonna get a much lower drop. It might be quite hard for you to pick the weight up off the floor. Down we go. So, deep in a squat, head up, chest up, shoulders back. Push those, don't let those knees drop in like this. Useless. Up, contracting your muscles, it's uncomfortable. Squeeze your bum cheeks together. Down you go. Squeeze your bum cheeks together. Down you go. Squeeze them together. I wonder if you can see me in the mirror behind, squeezing my butt. Squeeze. Squeeze. Every rep, you're thinking about what you're doing. This is what I mean when I say train with a purpose. Set yourself a goal and think about what you're doing every time you do it. Okay, exercise number 2 that's loaded through weight is a hip thrust. Change of hairstyle, I'm getting rather hot. If you're not getting hot and sweaty by now, you're not doing it right. So, with band or without band, I like to do this with the band. It helps you engage the glutes. So band on, hip thrust machine, I understand. Not everybody has access to a hip thrust machine. I'm gonna show you an alternative after this if you don't have this in your facility. So, bring yourself onto the machine. And we are going to lift up our hips and get into position. So, the bottom of my bra strap that goes around my back is kind of against the back pad here. Just people always say, where should my back be? Feet are on the pad below or on the floor. Toes ever so slightly out again to help the knees out, to help the glutes engage. Okay, you're gonna push up to here. Now, lots of people will say when doing a hip thrust that they can feel their hamstrings working too much or their quads working too much and they can't feel their glutes. So we want to talk about feet placement. If your feet are too far away, you're really gonna be getting a massive hamstring pump here. So if you really feel your hamstrings when you're doing this, move your feet closer. Alternatively, if your feet are too close, it's quite hard to do on this machine, you're really gonna feel your quads. So if you feel that your quads are taking over in this exercise, move your feet slightly forwards. Too far away, hamstrings. Too close, quads. Goldilocks, just right, feet in the middle, feel the glutes, okay? We're gonna take the hips halfway down. I'm not gonna touch the seat because I don't want to take the load away. This is just too relaxing. I'm not doing any work. I don't want your bum to touch the floor. Here. From here, watch my pelvis tilt again. I didn't lift the load yet. Okay, so feet are in the Goldilocks sweet spot. Lifted the weight up. Now I want to make sure my pelvis is done the tilt. I could do this and feel my lower back. My head's back. My lower back is already, geez, I just did about 4 reps and that's pumping my back. So, squeeze your pelvis under. It's so small, I'll show you again. Ready? That's it. I sucked my belly button in and I just rotated my pelvis under. Now, I lift. My glutes are burning. Halfway down. Pelvis under. Squeeze. Down. Push the knees out. Pelvis under. Squeeze. Down. Knees out. Pelvis under. Squeeze. Down. Knees out. Pelvis under. Why do I keep saying it? Because you're just going to get into a subconscious rhythm of, it hurts, it's hard, and you're not going to do it properly. Knees out. Pelvis under. Squeeze. Make those glutes do the work for you. 3 sets, 12 reps. If by rep 12 you're not absolutely dying, hold the 12th rep and count to 10. So we have rep 10, knees out, pelvis under, 11, knees out, pelvis under, 12, hold, 10, 9, up, 8, 7, knees out, up, 6, 5, up, 4, knees out, 3, 2, oh my God, 1, burning. You can probably hear my heart rate through this mic. Okay guys, this is an alternative exercise to the hip thrust machine. No need to do this in addition to that. Don't do that and this. Do that or this. Same, slightly different. So, see yourself on the bench. You can see I've taken a bar. I've put some plates on. This is super light. Obviously, you don't want to be loading up the weight until you know your form is spot on. I didn't even put any weight on that machine. My bum was on fire. So, we want correct form. We want to feel the burn and the activation. If you're feeling it, don't increase it. Okay? We'll work on increasing the load later on. Let's just get form and activation and feeling correct first to grow those glutes. So, I'm going to put my band back on again, over the knees. Slightly harder to get into the position, but push the bar out of the way. I'm going to sink myself down so the back of my bra strap is on the bench. About here. Okay? Legs down. Roll the bar over the top. Some of you might want to put a pad on the bar because the bar can kind of hurt your hip bone or your fufu bone. If you don't have a pad or a yoga mat, you can get a towel. Come on, surely you must have a towel. So, bring your feet up and under. Now, I'm gonna hip thrust first and then get into position once I've got the load on my hips. It's kind of hard to know if I'm right or wrong at this point. What I can see is I'm not in the center of the bar, which means as I lift this, the bar's gonna go whoop, and I didn't put clips on the end, so the weights are gonna fall off. So, I'm just gonna make sure I'm centered before I do anything. All right, so my elbows are gonna help me push up off the floor, and then my elbows are gonna come off. The back is on the bottom of my bra strap. I'm just gonna move my feet out a touch. Remember I said earlier, if your feet are too close, you're gonna feel the quads. If your feet are too far away, you're gonna feel the hamstrings. Find that Goldilocks sweet spot. Goldilocks glute growth. Okay, halfway down with your hips, same thing. Tip the pelvis under. I didn't lift the bar yet. Pelvis out, belly out, like arching my back like a banana shape. Here. Tuck the pelvis in. Make the back longer and tighter and straighter and engage the core. From here, knees out, push the bar up. You can use your hands just to balance the bar. Halfway down. Knees out, pelvis in, lift up. And again, halfway down, knees out, pelvis under, lift the bar. 3 sets of 12, knees out. 11, knees out. Hold, 10, 9, 8, 7, it's burning, 6, up, 5, knees out, 4, 3, 2, up, 1. Oh, that's 5, so 10, plus the bar, 20, 30 kilos. My ass is on fire, I'm sweating. This is tough. We're gonna move on to the next exercise. The first two, sumo squats and hip thrusts, are compound movements where you're using your full body. Really, really key and important to do your compound movements in every session. We're now gonna move on to some isometric movements, which means single leg. One leg, one butt cheek at a time. Let's go. Don't forget to stay hydrated as you're working out. Remember, your muscles are actually made up of 75% of water. If you're depleting your hydration within your muscles, you're not gonna be able to perform, they're not gonna recover, they're not gonna grow. Drink your water, bitches. Okay guys, leg press machine. We are in a strength gym, this is a strongman gym. This machine alone with no weights on is quite heavy, and we're gonna do single leg press. So, you need to figure out how heavy your own machine is. If you can do a lighter version of your machine with one leg, great. I'm gonna take this pin out of ours. Now that means that each side is gonna move on its own. When the pin is in, they move together, okay? I know what you're thinking, yeah, but my gym doesn't have a machine that looks like this and where you can pull the pin out. That's fine. As I was saying, this machine is designed for strong men. It's really heavy without even putting weights on it. I can't actually leg press on one leg this on its own. It's too heavy and I have really strong legs. So your gym, a normal machine that's together where the whole thing moves together is fine with one leg. Okay, next point on the leg press. You have a safety point here. So depending on your machine, you can alter your safety point depending on your mobility. I coach clients who are 71 years old, 64 years old, 60, 54, 50, etc., etc. Everybody's mobility is different. I have a 37-year-old lady who has terrible hip mobility, okay? And we have to adjust the machine according to her mobility. I'll explain more. So bringing yourself down onto the machine, we're going single leg. So you're gonna put one leg on the machine and turn your toes out. We are aiming to get your knee in between your core and your arm in this gap here. So when you take the machine off, I need to come down a touch because I'm so short. Here, take off the safety catch. This is your safety peg. So as I come down, I have very good mobility. I can take it all the way down to this mobility point. Not all people can do this. They'll feel a pinch in their hip, their glutes will hurt, they might not be strong enough to push the machine up from here. Okay, so if you're somebody that struggles with hip mobility, yours might not be a pin like this, but there will be a safety feature on your leg machine that you can increase the height, which means I'm gonna go down less. That's obviously a different depth. I can take my leg away and it's safe. And you may be wondering when you're trying to grow your glutes, whether they should go all the way down or halfway down or etc. The further, the better. This is the muscle we're trying to grow. We want to stretch this chain of muscles as much as possible before we contract it to push the machine up. Again, we're going to go 3 sets, 12 reps each leg. It's a slow, controlled movement. You want to feel the depth and the stretch of the glute. And when you're at the bottom of the movement, squeeze your glute, even though it might not feel like it's doing anything. Mentally, create that neuro pathway. There is actually scientific research that says it can take up to 400 repetitions to create a new neurological pathway from your brain to your muscles. 400 times before this can become semi-automatic. So, lifting it up, toes are faced out. I'm sitting nice and straight, hips and bum and glutes. I'm sucking my core in. Again, you might feel your lower back if you're doing this wrong by, I don't know if you can see, I can actually get my hand in under my back here. That's because my back is arched, like a banana. Can you see here? I'm trying to pull my t-shirt out the way. Arched. So suck your back in, tilt that pelvis under again. Take the machine all the way down. There. Contract. All the way down. Squeeze your bum. Think now. Squeeze my bum cheek. I can still feel my quad, of course. Squeeze my bum cheek. In fact, I'm going to lift my foot slightly higher. It's the same as the hip thrust. If it's too much quad, move your feet. If it's too much hamstring, move your feet back. So, all the way down. Squeeze your glute. That's better, less quad. So, all the way down. Squeeze the glute. Can you see my other leg? It's doing nothing. Squeeze the glute. Okay guys, next exercise. Sorry, you're gonna hate me for this one, but we're going back to the bench for some split squats. Let's go. Okay guys, exercise number 4 in how to grow your glutes. Split squats. These are ugly, I'm sorry. So again, this is something I do with all of my clients, no matter on the age. Obviously we work on depth, form, balance and things like that depending on who I'm working with. So we can put in different elements of structure and maybe I can do a whole video just on this exercise in the future. Sit on the bench, move your feet forwards, bring one leg up to the bench. There's your start position. Lots of people will say with split squats, I don't know how far forwards or how far back I should be. So my back foot also, top tip, I find it so much easier to do this without my shoes on. With a shoe on, it really restricts the range of motion in your flexion and extension of your ankle and your foot. So, no shoes on. We're gonna lunge, just contracting my glute. So you can see glute activation. Just practice moving your bum. You know how men do that thing with their pecs? Can ladies do it with their butt cheeks? Anyway, split squats. So, we are going to basically do a lunge. You're gonna bend your knees like this. Now I'm going to talk about it. Lots of people will say, I can feel it in my quads, I can't get low enough, the mobility, la 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 la. You can do this exercise for quad growth. If you sit up nice and straight, weight is on my front leg, and you squat or bend down, I can feel all of this load in my quad. I can feel nothing in my glute. So to avoid the common misconception or the common performance error of the split squat, being from quad to glute. Quad, I'm front loaded. I could lift this up and not fall over because all my weight is on the front foot. If you bend down from here, you're just loading that front leg. What I want to do, transfer my weight backwards. Now I can't lift my back leg up because I'm putting quite a bit of weight through my back leg. As I now bend down, it's the front leg, butt cheek that we're working. I'm gonna bend down and I'm gonna pull my hips backwards so that my other butt cheek is touching my heel. I'm gonna allow my chest to come down to increase this stretch in this chain of muscles here. And stand up. Down, squeeze the butt cheek. It might feel damn near impossible when it's this stretched, but you can squeeze it. Wrong. Upright. Quad focused. Quad dominant. Correct. Cha-ching, sound effect, is transfer the weight backwards. Drive your hips backwards, sticking your bum out. Bend down, contract the glute, stand up. Push backwards. Look how close my butt cheek is to the bench. Stand up. Down, butt cheek to the bench. Stand up. The weight is in the heel of my foot, not the ball or the front of my foot near my toes, the heel. I'm pushing through the back chain of muscles. Here, lean back, butt cheek to the bench. 3 sets, 12 reps each leg. Okay guys, we have one more exercise, but before we go through the last exercise, please like my video, drop me any questions, comments, subscribe to my channel for loads more great content like this. All right guys, exercise number 5 on how to grow your glutes. This machine. I know some of you don't have this machine in your facilities. I'm gonna show you an alternative afterwards with your resistance band, but let's get on the machine. So, this machine or movement is not professionally known, but more commonly known as a bad girl exercise. So you're gonna be opening the legs like a bad girl, okay? This machine can also do the opposite, where you start out and you push them in, and that's a good girl because you're closing your legs, you know? Anyway, we're going bad girl, and we're gonna go heavy for me, but it's up to you. So, again, you might have seen online that some girls stand up and do this, hold on to the machine, stick the butt out. Just chill out, sit on the seat, and think about contracting your glutes. So feet on, sit back, pelvis in, pushing the knees out, and you'll feel this in the side of your glutes, and underneath my glutes are already. I don't want this to slam shut because it shows I have no control of the exercise. So I'm going 3 sets of 12. I'm not gonna let these weights touch. I'm watching, controlling. They're like a millimeter away, back out. Control. I want power and control. So we're gonna call these tempo movements because we're doing them with a count. 1 second out, 1, 4 seconds in, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My butt hasn't let go of that tension since I started this because the weights haven't collapsed. 10, 11, 12. 3 sets through, that's your finisher. We're gonna do a quick glute stretch at the end. Okay, bad girl alternative using the resistance band, booty band, and a bench. So get this on, over the knees, sit on the edge of the bench, feet wide, drive the knees out, control it in. Out, control it in. I mean, I could do a bit more. I'm just gonna make my feet further apart to create more resistance. Bring it in, out. Again, you don't wanna let it collapse, as with that machine when the weights would clash. You wanna keep the tension. You can see there's tension on there, it's stretched. Push out, squeeze it in. Can you see my feet are rolling out? My feet are rolling in, my feet are rolling out. I'm sitting up straight, my pelvis is in, my core is tight. I'm not like, what's the point? Don't bother, just go and have a beer. So, sit up straight. Push them out, control it in. My ass is on fire. Again, we're going 3 sets of 12. Halas, that's your 5 exercises. We had a sumo squat, we had a hip thrust, we had a single leg press, we had a single leg split squat, and we've had bad girl exercises to finish. I'm just gonna finish now with a little glute stretch, because if I don't, and my glutes become rock hard, equally that's gonna cause me pain and discomfort somewhere else in my body. Hips, knees, back, who knows? But you don't want that. Stretch number 1. I guess you'd call it an elevated pigeon. If you do yoga, you know what a pigeon pose is. If you don't, this is an elevated pigeon pose. So, put your foot on the bench. Bring your foot to the side and let your knee drop down to the bench. Obviously my back knee has just bent to enable me to do that. So, cameraman, if you can see, my back knee is, I'm holding my weight on my hands. What I'm gonna do is let my back leg, as much as you're comfortable, don't overdo anything, stretch to the floor. And as this is going down slowly, holy cow, can I feel my right butt cheek over here stretching. So I'm just gonna lean forwards and create more stretch all the way through here. And I'm gonna hold 30 seconds to 60. So I went really close to the mic there because it's hurting. 30 to 60 seconds. Remember I said, if you wanna grow your glutes, it's because you wanna change something in your body. If you wanna change something, you're gonna have to do things differently, because the way you're currently doing things aren't working. You're gonna have to get used to being a little bit uncomfortable. So yes, this hurts. Yes, it's a bit uncomfortable, a bit painful. It's not too painful. I'm not gonna like pop my knee out, but get used to the feeling of discomfort. Obviously do the other side. I'm gonna show you an alternative stretch for the glutes. So, okay, so another stretch for the glutes. You can sit up against a bench or a wall or anything. I'm gonna cross this leg over, let it fall. I'm gonna bring my bottom leg up and again, straight through here, sitting up straight. What we don't want is my bum to be far away from the wall or the bench, because by changing the angle now I have no stretch in my glutes. So, here, trying to shuffle this foot in and just hold. If you're quite comfortable with this, bring your foot down. Already that's increased the intensity of the stretch. Pushing the knee out. If you can't feel that, whoo, I mean, that's hard. Again, hold for 30 to 60 seconds. Sit in the discomfort, feel it. When you release, be gentle, don't let it ping out. Gently and release. I'll show you one more. Last stretch variation for your glutes is I'm just holding on to something for my balance. I am going to stand on one leg, put this leg over the top and sit. As you can see, it's a similar angle to the last 2 that I've just done. Just using this for balance. Standing up, this does nothing to my glutes. It's the bending and stretching of this left butt cheek is what you want. Stretch, release, hold for 30 to 60 seconds. Obviously do the same with the other leg. Okay guys, that is our how to grow your glutes workout finished. I really tried to get this video into like 15 to 20 minutes, but as you know, I'm a primary school teacher and quote unquote from my client, I am meticulous with detail and explanation, and that is how you get results. Think with purpose, create those pathways, do everything precisely, and you will get results. It doesn't have to be crazy, mad, heavy, and super intense. This has taken me about 30 minutes to film. Obviously, you're gonna complete all 3 sets, which I didn't do. So this is a solid hour workout. You have your warm-up, you have your quad and hip stretches and openers, you have your 2 compound exercises, which was your sumo squat and your hip thrust, followed by your 2 isometric exercises, single leg press, single leg split squat, followed by your bad girls, followed by glute stretch. Good luck, grow those glutes. Let me know how it goes. Remember, this ain't gonna happen overnight, girls. You gotta work hard, consistently. Put some effort into it. If you found this useful, please like the video, share it with your friends, drop me questions and comments below. Grow that booty, bubble butt. Don't waste money on TikTok leggings.